Your legs are the first part of your body to betray you after 60, and almost nobody sees it coming until they're already struggling to get up from a chair without pushing off with their arms. It doesn't start with a fall. It starts years earlier, quietly, in the fibers of your quadriceps and hamstrings, and by the time you notice it, you've already lost a shocking percentage of the strength that used to carry you upstairs, without thinking twice. Doctors have a name for this: Sarcopenia, and the legs lose muscle faster than almost any other part of the body because they're the largest muscle group you own, which means they have the most to lose. The good news is that this decline is not fixed, and it's not really about exercise alone the way you'd assume. It's about 12 specific foods that feed the exact biological machinery your leg muscles need to rebuild themselves, and the majority of people over 60 have never heard of half of them. Number 4 on this list contains an amino acid combination researchers have directly linked to preserved walking speed in older adults. Number 1 has been tied to stronger thigh muscles in multiple clinical studies, and almost nobody eating it knows why it works. 12 foods, all backed by real research, all aimed at keeping your legs strong enough to carry you exactly where you want to go. Here's what makes this list different from every other protein list you've probably already scrolled past. It's not built around chicken breast and protein powder. It's built around the specific foods that also fight the inflammation quietly working against your legs in the background, because protein alone isn't the whole story. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Before the list starts, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of what we're covering on strength, mobility, and healthy aging after 60. It helps this channel reach more people who need it. Number 12 on the list is edamame, the young soybean harvested before it hardens into the dry bean you'd recognize from the grocery aisle. Pulled at this earlier stage, it holds onto a nutrient profile that a mature soybean simply doesn't have anymore, and that includes a full set of essential amino acids, all 9 of them, which puts it in the same protein category as meat or eggs despite coming from a pod. A single cup of shelled edamame gives you close to 18 grams of protein, and buried inside that protein is a meaningful dose of leucine, the amino acid your body uses as a direct trigger for muscle repair. After 60, your leg muscles become less responsive to that trigger. You need a bigger leucine dose at each meal to get the same rebuilding response you got at 40, and edamame delivers it without the saturated fat that comes packaged with most animal protein sources. Steam a handful straight from frozen, sprinkle on sea salt, and eat it as a side with dinner, or toss it into a stir-fry. It requires no marinating, no soaking, and barely 5 minutes on the stove, which makes it one of the easiest habits to build on this entire list. Number 11 is tempeh, and it gets confused with tofu constantly despite being an entirely different food. Tofu comes from pressed soy milk. Tempeh is the whole soybean, fermented and bound into a dense cake by a fungal culture, and that fermentation step changes everything about how your body uses it. It breaks down phytic acid, a compound that normally blocks mineral absorption, which means the iron, magnesium, and zinc inside tempeh actually reach your bloodstream instead of passing through unused. A 4-ounce serving carries around 20 to 21 grams of highly digestible protein, and the fermentation process leaves behind gut-supportive compounds that matter more for your legs than you'd expect. Protein absorption depends on the health of your intestinal lining, and older adults commonly develop a leakier gut wall that lets less protein through to the muscles that need it. Tempeh's fermentation supports that lining directly, and a healthier gut wall means more of the protein you eat at dinner actually ends up rebuilding your quadriceps instead of passing through unabsorbed. Slice it thin, marinate it in a little tamari and garlic, and pan-fry until both sides turn golden. It holds its texture in a way tofu never does, and it also carries manganese along with a small amount of B12, one of the only plant foods that naturally contains any at all, a vitamin that's essential for nerve signaling to the muscles in your legs. Look for a fortified brand if you want a more meaningful B12 contribution from it. Number 10 is the pumpkin seed, or cucurbita pepo, small enough that it usually gets scattered over a salad and forgotten about. That's a mistake for anyone focused on leg strength. An ounce of raw pumpkin seeds carries about 9 grams of protein, but the real value is in the arginine content, an amino acid your body converts into nitric oxide, which widens blood vessels and improves circulation into working leg muscle. Better circulation means the nutrients you eat actually reach your quadriceps and calves instead of stalling out along the way. Pumpkin seeds also carry meaningful zinc, somewhere around 2 to 3 milligrams per ounce, and zinc acts as a cofactor for the enzymes your body uses to build new muscle tissue. Low zinc levels show up again and again in research on accelerated muscle loss in older populations. Eat them raw for the highest nutrient retention, stirred into yogurt or blended into a smoothie. They also carry a small dose of tryptophan, which your body can convert into serotonin and then melatonin, and better sleep quality may support the release of growth hormone, one of the hormones involved in overnight muscle repair in your legs. Number 9 is Greek yogurt, and it usually gets eaten as a diet food without anyone realizing what the straining process actually does. Removing that liquid whey concentrates the protein dramatically, so a 6-ounce serving of full-fat Greek yogurt delivers 15 to 18 grams of protein, roughly double a regular yogurt. Most of that protein is casein, and casein digests slowly, clotting in your stomach and releasing amino acids steadily over 4 to 7 hours instead of all at once. That slow release makes it one of the best foods to eat before bed, because your legs don't stop needing protein when you fall asleep. Clinical research on protein timing in older adults consistently shows that 20 to 30 grams of casein-rich protein before sleep produces measurably greater overnight muscle repair than skipping that late meal entirely. This is one of the simplest changes you can make to your whole routine because it doesn't require adding a new meal, only shifting one you already eat later into your evening. Choose full fat over low fat here. The fat slows digestion even further and extends the window your muscles have to pull amino acids from your bloodstream. It also carries live bacterial cultures that support the same gut lining we've already talked about, which means the protein you're eating gets absorbed more efficiently instead of passing through unused. Number 8 is Nutritional yeast, a deactivated yeast sold as yellow flakes with a savory flavor that surprises almost everyone the first time they try it. Its real value is in the B12 it carries. As you age, your stomach loses its ability to produce intrinsic factor, the protein needed to absorb B12 from food, and that shortfall shows up as fatigue, muscle weakness, and poor coordination, symptoms that get blamed on aging in general when the real cause is a fixable deficiency. 2 tablespoons of fortified nutritional yeast delivers close to a full day's B12 in a form your body absorbs without needing intrinsic factor at the same level whole food sources require. It also carries around 8 grams of protein per 2 tablespoons with a complete amino acid profile, unusual for something that isn't meat, dairy, or a legume. Sprinkle it over eggs, stir it into soup, or mix it into a sauce. Beyond B12, it carries a full spread of B vitamins, including riboflavin and folate, both directly involved in the energy metabolism your leg muscles depend on to repair themselves after everyday activity. Number 7 is Kefir, often mistaken for drinkable yogurt, but built through a completely different process involving both bacteria and yeast working together. 1 cup of whole milk, Kefir carries 9 to 11 grams of protein, and the fermentation has already broken much of that casein down into shorter peptide chains your body absorbs with far less digestive effort, which matters if your stomach acid has declined with age. Kefir's bacterial diversity is striking, carrying far more distinct microbial strains than the 2 or 3 typically found in most store-bought yogurt. That diversity trains your immune system in ways that lower chronic low-grade inflammation, and chronic inflammation actively suppresses muscle protein synthesis in your legs, whether you notice it happening or not. Kefir also produces a unique polysaccharide called kefiran during fermentation, which appears to have its own calming effect on inflammation in the gut lining, adding one more layer to why this food punches so far above its weight. Drink it plain in the morning, or pour it over fruit and seeds. Its partial lactose breakdown also makes it tolerable for many people who normally struggle with regular dairy, so it's worth trying even if milk has never agreed with you. Number 6 is the hemp heart, the shelled inner seed of the hemp plant, usually talked about for its omega-3 content while its muscle benefits go unmentioned. 3 tablespoons deliver around 10 grams of protein, and that protein is unusually rich in leucine, isoleucine, and valine, the 3-branched chain amino acids most directly tied to muscle repair. The fat profile matters just as much. Hemp seeds carry an omega-3 to omega-6 ratio close to the range nutrition researchers consider ideal, and omega-3 fatty acids actively suppress the inflammatory pathways that break leg muscle down. Studies on omega-3 supplementation in older adults show direct increases in muscle protein synthesis even without any change in exercise habits. Add 3 tablespoons to oatmeal, smoothies, or a bowl of yogurt. No cooking required, no soaking, and no preparation beyond opening the bag and measuring it out. If you're finding this useful, drop a comment telling me which food on this list surprised you the most. It helps this video reach more people who need exactly this information. And I read everyone. Number 5 is the Lupini bean, a small, firm, slightly bitter legume that's been a bar snack across southern Europe for centuries, but never crossed over into mainstream Western kitchens. 1 cup of cooked lupini beans carries around 26 grams of protein, close to a chicken breast, which is remarkable for a plant food. What sets it apart further is its glycemic profile. Lupini beans produce almost no measurable blood sugar spike, and that matters because chronically elevated blood sugar followed by insulin crashes creates a hormonal environment that favors fat storage over muscle repair. Keeping that environment stable means the protein you're eating actually gets used to rebuild leg tissue instead of getting caught in a metabolic tug-of-war between storage and repair. Much of this comes down to the fiber content and the specific type of starch in the bean, which together slow how quickly the carbohydrate portion enters your bloodstream in the first place. Find them brined in a jar at a Mediterranean grocer and eat them straight, or buy them dried for home cooking. They also carry a prebiotic fiber that selectively feeds beneficial gut bacteria linked to lower systemic inflammation, tying back once again to how efficiently your legs actually absorb and use the protein you give them. Number 4 is cottage cheese, a food that fell out of favor alongside low-fat dieting trends and never fully recovered its reputation. A cup of full-fat cottage cheese carries around 25 grams of protein, mostly casein, making it one of the most efficient whole food options for feeding your legs overnight. Clinical research on protein timing has repeatedly found that roughly 40 grams of casein eaten before sleep produces significantly greater whole-body protein synthesis compared to going to bed without any protein at all, and muscle protein synthesis specifically was measurably higher, even in studies done on men in their 70s. A cup of cottage cheese gets you close to that number without supplements. It also carries a smaller whey fraction alongside the casein, giving you an initial quick amino acid boost, followed by the long, slow casein release, a 2-phase delivery that's arguably more complete than either protein type would be on its own. Eat it plain before bed, or add a few berries if you want more flavor. It also delivers a solid dose of phosphorus and calcium, both directly involved in the contraction process your leg muscles use every single time you stand, walk, or climb a set of stairs. Number 3 is the black lentil, sometimes called the beluga lentil for its resemblance to caviar, and its deep black color comes from anthocyanins, the same pigment class found in blueberries. Those anthocyanins have a documented effect on inflammatory signaling, helping calm a molecular pathway called NF-kappa B that drives chronic inflammation throughout the body. That inflammation, left unchecked, is linked to the same pathways your body uses to break down lean tissue over time, essentially treating aging muscle the way it would treat an injury it's trying to clear away. Lowering that inflammatory signal may help shift your body back toward building muscle instead of quietly dismantling it. Black lentils carry around 18 grams of protein per cooked cup, along with a resistant starch that ferments slowly in your colon and produces butyrate, a compound that strengthens your gut lining and improves how efficiently you absorb the protein you eat. Cook them the way you would any lentil. They hold their shape better than red or green varieties and work warm or cold in a salad with olive oil and lemon. Pair them with anything containing vitamin C, and the iron they carry becomes significantly more bioavailable to your body. Number 2 is spirulina, a blue-green algae eaten by human populations for centuries, from the Aztecs harvesting it out of Lake Texcoco to communities around Lake Chad drying it as a staple food. It's roughly 60 to 70% protein by dry weight, a number almost nothing else in the food supply comes close to matching. 2 tablespoons of dried spirulina carry about 8 grams of complete protein in a form so easily digested it barely requires any digestive effort at all. The compound generating the most research interest is phycocyanin, the blue pigment responsible for spirulina's color, which has documented anti-inflammatory effects on the same pathways involved in muscle breakdown. Multiple studies on older adults taking spirulina have found measurable improvements in strength, endurance, and recovery time after physical activity, with the anti-inflammatory mechanism appearing to be the primary driver behind those results. Stir a teaspoon or two into a smoothie or a glass of water with lemon. The flavor takes some adjusting to. The benefit doesn't. It also supplies a rare form of gamma-linolenic acid, an anti-inflammatory fat most Western diets are seriously short on, along with iron and a range of B vitamins that support the energy your legs run on all day long. Number 1 is natto, a fermented soybean dish from Okinawa, Japan, home to one of the highest concentrations of people living past 100 anywhere on Earth. Natto is made by fermenting whole soybeans with a specific bacterial strain, Bacillus subtilis natto, producing a sticky, stringy texture and a strong flavor that takes a few tries to appreciate. What makes it stand out for leg strength specifically is its vitamin K2 content in a form called MK7, found almost nowhere else in significant amounts. K2 directs calcium into your bones instead of your soft tissue, and strong bones and strong muscle aren't separate systems. They work together, particularly in the legs where bone density and muscle strength both determine how steady you are on your feet. Several trials link adequate K2 intake to higher bone density and a lower fracture risk in older adults. Eat it the traditional way, over warm rice with a little mustard and soy sauce. The first bite is confrontational. Sticking with it past the first few tries tends to win people over. Natto also carries nattokinase, an enzyme researchers have studied for its role in supporting healthy circulation, which matters directly for how well blood and nutrients reach the muscles carrying you through your day. There's one pattern worth pointing out across this entire list because it changes how you should think about eating for your legs going forward. Almost every food here does two jobs at once. It delivers protein and it lowers inflammation somewhere in the body at the same time. That combination matters more than protein alone because inflammation is the hidden force working against every gram of protein you eat. You can consume plenty of protein and still lose muscle if your body is stuck in a low-grade inflammatory state, because that inflammation actively signals your legs to break tissue down faster than you can rebuild it. That's why fermented foods show up so often on this list: tempeh, kefir, natto, and why pigmented foods like black lentils and spirulina keep appearing too. They're not filler items, they're doing quiet, specific work in the background that plain protein sources can't do on their own. How you build this into your week depends entirely on what your current diet already looks like. If dairy has always agreed with you, Greek yogurt and cottage cheese are the easiest wins, requiring nothing more than a spoon. If you've leaned plant-based for years, tempeh, black lentils and lupini beans will feel far more familiar and easier to work into meals you already know. And if your mornings tend to be rushed, hemp hearts and nutritional yeast take seconds to add to whatever you're already eating. No extra cooking time involved. There's no single right entry point here. There's only the one that actually fits into your life consistently, because consistency is what turns any of these foods into real, measurable strength over the coming months. None of these 12 foods require a supplement store or a complicated meal plan. They require knowing what to reach for and making one or two of them part of how you already eat. Pick the one that feels easiest to start with this week. Add it to a meal you already make. Give it a few weeks and pay attention to how your legs feel, walking up a flight of stairs, standing up from a low chair, or simply keeping pace on a walk you've taken 100 times before. That's where you'll notice the difference first, long before any number on a scale ever shows it. Strong legs at 70 and 80 aren't determined by genetics alone the way you'd assume. They're built meal by meal from the choices sitting on your plate right now, and every one of these 12 foods is one of those choices working quietly in your favor. If this video gave you something useful, subscribe for more on strength, mobility, and healthy aging after 60, and hit like so more people your age can find this. Drop a comment letting me know which of these 12 you're adding to your kitchen first. See you in the next one.